How are you? I'm Savoy Lawtonville. I'm the student editor from OU Daily. I'm here to cover the art talk. Are the Jacobsons here? You look familiar. You go to school at OU? I've probably seen you around campus then. What are you studying? Me?
Dr. and Mrs. Jacobson will be here very soon, and please make yourself comfortable in their beautiful home, and I'm here to help you with whatever you might need.
Well, thank you very much. You're very hospitable. You guys here for the art talk? We are. You got a favorite artist? Mopo? He's a good one. Here's some of his work.
Everyone, this is Dr. and Mrs. Jacobson. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our house. We're delighted you're here for a very special evening.
Welcome.
Dr. Jacobson, I'm Savoy Lawtonville. I'm the student editor of the OU Daily newspaper.
We're
We're here
delighted
to cover
you're
the
here.
art talk.
Thank you for coming.
Enchanté.
Enchanté, Sophie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you all for coming. My wife Sophie and I would like to welcome you to a very, very special evening. And we have some very, very important guests later on. But first, I thought you might be interested in learning a little bit about myself and, of course, learning about Sophie. She will be adding information to my monologue. She's very good at correcting me. She's also very good at perhaps adding more information than I do if I skip over things.
He knows a lot. He always knows everything. So it's good that he talks more than me. And I'm from France, so I have a weird accent. So I'm from France and I moved here, so he does most of the talking.
And when we first met, she barely spoke English. Now she writes so beautifully, besides speaking beautifully. And she will tell you more about that later on. I was born May 16, 1882 in Västervik, Sweden. I was the youngest of 5 children. I came to the U.S. in 1890 with my parents, who settled in a Swedish community, Lindsborg, Kansas. At 16, I left the home and I traveled to Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado, working as a ranch hand. Mustang Jake was the name I was known by. And during these 2 years, I first encountered the Western landscape and Native Americans, both of which made a very deep and lasting impression on me. Returning to Kansas in 1900, the turn of the century, I entered Bethany College, which was in my hometown of Lindsborg. At the urging of my parents, I started studying business. But that only lasted a couple of years, and I quickly realized that my real interest was not in business, but it was in art. And I began studying under the noted Swedish master painter, Birger Sanson. In 1904, after getting my degree from Bethany and being judged competent and ready by the president of the college, I was selected, not as an artist, I was selected to join the police force for the St. Louis World's Fair that was going on at that point. However, taking the opportunity that was presented to me, I quickly made myself known to the Swedish commissioner who had an art exhibit there, and shortly I became an art attaché and assistant to the director of the art exhibition, Anselm Schultzberg.
You can already tell he's a very versatile man. He does so many things. He did so many things and traveled so much in the United States. It's good.
Thank you. A year later, I returned to the academic world for further study. In 1905, I entered Yale, where I continued my painting studies, and, backing up what Sophie is saying, I also worked as an actor for the Ben Greet Shakespeare Company. And additionally, I worked as a security guard for the Schubert Theatrical Company. In 1909, I began my teaching career at Minnesota Junior College in Minneapolis. And that same year, I also had my first solo exhibition. In 1911, I made a very fateful decision to accept a position at Pullman College in Washington State. And there, I met the love of my life.
I was teaching French, of course, and so we met. But people were always teasing me. There was a funny story. You want to tell it? I will tell it.
You will tell it.
I will tell it. So I was only coming to the States for 1 year to teach, and I wanted to stay longer. So I went to Washington State, finally, upon approval from my parents, because they wanted me to come back to Europe, because they thought that's a strange country. Why would you stay there? And I would want to stay there, and I came to Washington State, and we met. But there were people who said, well, I think within 2 years you will be married. And I said, no, I'm going to be traveling and I'm going to be teaching because that's my love. I want to teach and I'm committed to my students. But then I met them.
We met in 1911 and 1912 we were married.
Yeah, it happened really fast.
Sophie Bruce, I took her family name as my middle name and henceforth became Oscar Bruce Jacobson.
That's a European thing. I think everybody should do that here. Take the woman's last name.
Some of us are smart enough to do that.
Yes, you are. So we have less fighting, more loving. He takes my name.
We went to Europe on a belated honeymoon in 1914, and I had time to study in the Louvre and paint some landscapes in Sweden and France, but the onset of World War I cut short our visit. And a year later, I accepted the offer from OU, and I came to Norman to become the director of the very new and very small School of Art. I must say, I must confess here that I was not always a good student, so it was not until the year after I came to Norman that I received my degree from Yale.
Because you were busy doing other things.
Yes. I began designing and we started building this house in 1916 and we moved into it in 1918. Our children, Oscar Jr., Yvonne, and Yolanda, have loved growing up here. And I'll let Sophie tell you more about the house.
Yes. Well, actually, where you are sitting now, we would always slide on the floor with our socks because we could do like a kind of ice skating because it's such a nice open space. It's a Swedish type house because there are no hallways, so you can walk everywhere. Big space here and all the rooms. And the kids loved it. There were so many small rooms and we would play around. It's great. Yeah. You like
And we had a garden outside.
Yes.
We both enjoyed being very much in the garden. And this is a wonderful climate that we can spend much time outside. And in 1925, we spent a wonderful sabbatical year, although I got sick, I must admit, in Algiers. And then the following year, the most wonderful event happened. In 1926, Susie Peters of St. Patrick's Mission sent us the wonderful artist now known to the world as the Kiowa 5. I must say, Susie Peters was not successful in her initial efforts in 1923 to get the Kiowa 5 admitted to OU. But she didn't give up. She then enlisted Father Al, Aloysius Hidda, and Sister Oliva. Father Al finally brought the work to my personal attention. We admitted them in 1927 as special students. And in November of 1927, only a few months after they had been here, their work was exhibited at the convention of the American Federation of Arts in Denver.
You know why that is? We have to mention that's a lot because of, I call him Dad, because of Dad, Oscar, because he wanted them to paint what they wanted to paint and not change their cultural aspects. He wanted them to show what they are, and I think that's really good, and that was a unique thing in that time.
And the reception to them was tremendous. In the following year, we organized a traveling exhibit that went to Prague, Czechoslovakia. And following that, we published this wonderful folio of art by the Kiowa 5. The exhibit and the publication of the folio made headlines in a number of cities. We took their work to New York City, and it was seen there in Grand Central Galleries, and that exhibition then traveled to major cities across the United States. I enlisted my colleague, Edith Meyer, to work with me in teaching them. The result, as the world now knows, was wonderful. And so,
We would like to welcome our special guest, Ed. So our special guests of tonight are the Kiowa 5. Phoebe, can you get the door, please? Hello. Phoebe.
I must apologize for Phoebe. Phoebe has not seen Native Americans before. The art of the Kiowa 5 has been seen at the Grand Central Galleries in New York City and has traveled to major cities across the U.S. And then, most recently, we organized the great traveling exhibition in Prague, Czechoslovakia, from which we've just returned. They are now world-famous artists. Kiowa 5 is a name that is recognized internationally. So without further ado, let me introduce the individuals. Stephen Wilpo. Stephen is not only an accomplished artist, he's an accomplished flute player and dancer. And so his paintings reflect that. Perhaps you'll talk.
Hi, my name is Stephen Malpopi. I was born in 1904, the oldest of my Bavis. Born in Redstone, Michigan, on the Kiowa Reservation. The paintings you see before you are kind of the things I've seen that's been a part of my life. I've also painted some dancing, and our dancing of our brothers would kind of caught us in what we say action, or how we feel. I also paint about the flute, the chording, and the old our old Kiowa tradition of the woodpecker and how the wind came through the holes in the tree. And maybe one day, kind of talking to someone, I could court some woman, maybe my wife down the road. But these paintings I talked about, Osage Roadman, where about the peyote, the Native American church. Our brothers were involved with it for our brother Monroe here. And there's also a painting of Apache man that we've seen, and the different tribes we've met.
That peyote man, Mr. Mopoop, is Osage, and you're Kiowas. Do you guys go to church with members of other tribes in addition to just exclusively Kiowa churches?
We've had a contact and talk with them and kind of understand about how their ways are a little bit different than ours. But we all pray, and we all go in that church, at night, and we all sing songs.
Mm-hmm. And St. Patrick's Mission it's a Catholic school, isn't it? So are you Catholic as well?
Well, I think they were trying to get us to kind of want us to kind of go in that way, but we're all about our tradition and our Kiowa way. We're really strong about that, but we do recognize that.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an Indian name, Mr. Mopoop?
Indian name is Painted Robe, Koi Day.
And it means painted.
Painted
robe,
kind of a shawl or a blanket that's designs on it.
I would like to add someone too, that he's the best dancer of the Kiowa tribe, and he was a champion of all Oklahoma Indians, so he's a really excellent dancer. So you can write that down.
I will. I'm writing an article for the OU Daily newspaper, Mr. Mohope. I hope you don't mind if I quote you.
Nope.
And you have your flute. Would you be willing to play a song?
Yes.
Before that the flute began as a courtship. So
Yeah.
by playing that flute, are you trying to court somebody here tonight?
Nope, I think she's still back at home.
Oh. So are you married?
Getting there.
Working on it?
Get on it.
And what kind of wood is the flute made out of?
Cedar.
Any particular reason?
Well, cedar is our kind of our way of talking to our Creator. And, we burn cedar when we pray, so it's kind of appropriate to have our flute made out of cedar.
Thank you.
One more interesting thing actually, because I'm from Europe, I like Europe even though we don't always do good things. But his great-grandmother was Spanish and she was captured by Kiowa and then became Kiowa. So he has a little bit of Spanish blood too. Thank you.
Our next artist is Spencer Asa. Milo is his Indian name, I believe. He is our resident comic. He loves life, he loves to dance. And maybe after he talks about his art, he will dance.
Ahu. My name is Spencer Asa. I was born between 1905 and 1910 near Carnegie. My Indian name is Ta Lo, meaning little boy. That name fits me good because I've always been a kid at heart. My father was a medicine man, a buffalo medicine man. Among our people, that buffalo medicine was our strongest medicine that we have. I learned a lot from my father, and I grew up around those ways, around that medicine. My mother, she passed away when I was a very young boy. I didn't get to know her too well, but I know that she's always taught me, helped me with different things throughout my life. I attended St. Patrick's Mission School in Anadarko. While attending school there, I met Miss Susie Peters. She was a field matron and she took us under her wing. She helped us, she encouraged us, she taught us different things. And she eventually convinced us to come here to Norman because she knew that they had bigger and better things awaiting us. When I got here to Norman, I didn't want to study. I didn't want to have anything to do with it, but I wanted to paint. Here we could paint the way we felt, the way we saw things through our own eyes. And I didn't try to change that. They helped us with that because they knew it was something different. It was pure. It was who we were as people. Our paintings, they tell a lot of things about our lives, how we've been brought up as young Indian boys, our teachings that we have through our Kiowa traditions, our ceremonies that we have. And again, they let us paint these things through our own eyes. And these paintings that we drew, a lot of times you could see them. They tell about us. They tell the stories that our people have taught us, our parents, what they taught us and what their parents taught them. This painting that you see me here, this here is a self-portrait of myself. I love to dance, as all my brothers here, we love to dance. But this painting here, as I dance, a lot of times people don't understand. Native people, when we dance and we start to dance, we hear this drum, we hear these bells, we hear these songs. You know, we hear the good things. It makes us feel good. There's no words that we can say to express, you know, the way we feel as when we dance. But maybe through this right here, you can see it. Maybe somebody can imagine what that feels like, because there's no better feeling as we dance, because we dance for the ones, you know, our ancestors that have gone on, maybe the individuals that cannot dance as well. But I've always felt blessed to be able to share, you know, my work and my dancing and our culture with different ones, because they see this as new, you know, something new. But to us, it's not. We've always had art. It's always been a part of our people. We've had it since eternity. You know, beginning of time, we've had it, and we're going to always have it, because you see it within our clothes, our designs, our paintings. And, you know, it's just a little bit about, you know, what we bring, what we have. And I feel very proud and very blessed and honored to be here in Norman. And I thank the Jacobsons and the University of Oklahoma for, you know, believing in us and seeing something new within us and in kids and within our work as well. I hope.
What did you do before you started painting?
Before I started painting, I was a farmer near Anadarko.
And what do you mostly paint? What's your favorite subject?
I like to paint these dancers again, you know, these men, because again, you know, it tells a story, and a lot of times too, I like to paint, you know, our ceremonial things that we have, again, to kind of share a little bit and let people know who we are, let them know, you know, this is how we were brought up and what we know as our religion, as our traditions, our ceremonies that we have. And just a little bit, you know, I love drawing dancers because, you know, it makes me feel good, makes them look like they're having a good time, happy people.
He also has great paintings that depict the magic and mystery of the Indian medicine. So he's very talented in very many different aspects. So
Mr. Jacobson said you were the resident comic. So what's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you at a dance, for instance?
One time we were at a powwow, and you know, you see the feathers that we wear. Like my brother here, you see all these bustles that he has. Well, back then, you know, I didn't have a lot of feathers, and I had just one bustle that I wear, and you see it on my back tonight. We were at a powwow, and I didn't put it in the car when we went over there, and I forgot it. And I kind of thought people wouldn't notice it if I danced backwards, but I think they, you know, noticed it more. You know, a lot of people thought I was trying to, you know, play a joke, but you know, I was serious. And I still dance pretty good though. I still dance. I'm a good dancer though.
Thank you.
thank you, Asa.
Thank you.
Our next artist is Jack Pokia, and he'll tell you more about himself, but I want to just say that he is very, very hardworking, and he also loves to dance.
So, Jack Pokia, come on. I would really like to speak to the people. We're here at this university here. I want to thank Mr. Jacobson. I started painting when I was a young boy. My father is here down at St. Patrick's. Mrs. Peters, she helped us out, like was mentioned earlier. She saw something in us. And so here we are today at this university. We have a good time here. We get to come to Mr. Jacobson's door here, dance, sing, get together, talk, and have a good time. I was raised by my grandmother south of Anadarko. Many spiritual things in my life when I was a young boy. I love to dance. People say he's the best dancer, but I love to dance.
And your parents passed away when you were young.
Yeah, my grandmother, she raised me.
And what's the most important thing your grandmother taught you?
To pray. She took me a long time ago to the bundles sat me down, explained everything to me. We prayed. We were involved, she was involved in the ghost dance a long time ago. We don't have that now. A lot of our Kiowa ways are going away. These paintings like this that we have. Like I said, I love to dance. I can capture that little spirit when we're dancing. We
There's
dance sometimes so fast that you can't get all the emotion into it. So I try to get it down as quick as I can. Sometimes it's not so detailed like these other ones.
there's a prayerful quality to your art. Do you pray when you dance?
Yeah, I pray when I dance. That drum, it helps us out. A lot of spirit in that drum. It used to be a living thing. It helps us out.
Thank you.
Our next artist is Monroe Toki, right, who is here with his wife Martha, and he is also a man of great intensity and passion.
Hi, my name's Monroe Toki, and I'm very proud to be part of the 5 members that are here and been brought to this place to express ourselves through art. There was quite a long time ago in the 1900s, I was born near Saddle Mountain. I grew up with a lot of traditions as far as things other than art, and I was really encouraged when we were really young to go and maybe show our expressions through art, our feelings, and put them down on paper. This was a hard thing for me to do, and then I met Mrs. Susan Peters. She taught us how to, she taught me personally how to go about doing that, helped me in many ways. And I've been really singing for quite a while. That's my passion and my love, is the drum. Just like Jackson was, the spirit of the drum. It's the heartbeat of our mother. That sound that it makes, it touches all of us. If you've ever been around the drum before, each beat that has kind of goes right through you, and that spirit when you sit there really touches you and brings you alive. That's one of the main things that I've really been drawn to a lot in the Indian church, spirituality.
Monroe and I have that in common. Monroe loves to listen to my recordings that I've made drumming from Africa and elsewhere. As you can see, Monroe is not well. He has TB, but because of his intensity and passion, we are confident that he will continue to paint.
As long as he has breath, there is hope.
How long has he had tuberculosis?
We noticed it coming on. It's gotten worse, but we pray.
Excuse me for that.
We certainly hope you will continue to paint. I remember the time when Satoki and Mapope were asked to paint the auditorium in the OU. And he had made a really good sketch, and it was their first time to do such a big thing. And so he was already painting, and Mapope came in later and was like, I don't have a sketch, I'll just go around it. So they worked together, and it was really great. So we hope we would do much more of that in the future.
Thank
really
you.
need to get better.
How is some water?
Phoebe? Can you have some water, please? I think she disappeared. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next artist is Lois Smokey. We are very, very proud to have Lois with us. I want to say that she is a very brave young woman who has chosen to pursue a very non-traditional role as an artist. And I've come up to know you be part of the Kiowa class.
I'm the youngest one here, so kind of like everybody's baby. But I want to thank the Jacobsons for bringing me here, and thank you to Miss Peters for bringing me here and showing me that I could do this stuff here, that I could do this work here, that I had it inside. So I guess we're supposed to talk about our artwork and our experience here in Norman. It's kind of scary, it's different, but my mom, she's here with me, so that made it better. I had good times with these guys. I had fun with y'all, sometimes. I guess we'll talk about this one, the Scout Dance. And it has, well, I get Smokey, that's my name. That's my Kiowa name. It means of the dawn. And I got that name when I was 12 after a meeting. My mom gave it to me. But this one is of the Scout Dance. And I painted just the way I sew and the way I do my beadwork. You know, I did a lot of sewing at St. Pat's and a lot of beadwork. And I spent a lot of time in the sewing room there at St. Pat's. And the father, he didn't mind. And the sisters, they didn't mind that I was staying in there and I did my work. It felt good. And that's what, it feels good to do these paintings. And it reminds me of home. And this one is of the mommy, the mother, and her babies. And I painted that in the hopes that maybe I'll have babies and I can take care of them and dress them just right, just like that. Makes me wanna go home. So I wanna say thank you for bringing me here, Mr. and Mrs. Jacobson, but I'm ready to go home now. I want to go home and I want to start my family. I miss it. And I want to say goodbye to you, to all of you. Aho.
We will be very, very sorry to see you back. Very next. Could I ask a question, Smokey? How was it being the only woman to be painting figurative art like this? I know mostly you are an artist in beadwork design and in outfit and dance outfit designs, but nobody has done this kind of work before. And how did your community and your community of artists respond to that?
Some liked it and some didn't. Some didn't think it was good for a Kiowa woman to do that kind, to draw a person, a figure, human figure. We were supposed to do designs, so I was the first to do that. Some people got mad, and others, they liked it. They said maybe this way our Kiowas can change with the times.
And do you dance the Scout dance? When do you typically do that dance?
For victory, for our work.
Victory dance? And did you sign all your pieces with your Indian name? And what kind of a meeting was it that you got your name? And you said your mother, you got it during a meeting or after a meeting. What kind of a meeting?
Peyote meeting. I brought the water in.
Before dawn.
Thank you for being here, and I want to tell you with everybody, you are one of the most talented people I know. So when you go home, please continue to paint. And I want to thank you for this beautiful shot you've given me, and I will cherish it. Okay?
member of the Kiowa Five. James is shy. James is a member of a very prominent family, and he'll tell you more about himself in a minute. But I also want to say at this point, those of you who have been counting realize there are 6 Kiowa artists. But since Lois is leaving us, unfortunately, there are still 5 Kiowa artists. So the Kiowa 5 remain the Kiowa 5. Only 5 at any time.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Deron de Batsan. James Otsai is my name. My last name means to ask, to borrow something that you don't know about, you don't learn about. I was born around the Mears area in the mountains, in the Wichita Mountains. My dad's name was Mark Otsai. My grandpa was one of our last war chiefs among the Kiowa people, Kiowa people. His name was Seitai. They interpreted White Bear. He was my grandfather. He was a very prominent war chief, and he was convicted of a crime in Jacksboro, Texas, and imprisoned at Huntsville. And that's where he is buried. I grew up among my Kiowa people, and I attended school at Rainy Mountain Indian School. I started painting there when I was 12. Rainy Mountain Sapialda is what we call it. And I started there painting, and I started drawing one day, and I got in trouble. Matron there made me go to sleep without having supper. It was okay with me. I thought to myself, it's all right. I'd rather paint than eat. I know my brothers, they all went through the same thing that I did. Bio. And I attended there till Miss Peters came, and she recruited me to attend St. Patrick's Mission in Anadarko, where I continued to work with my skill there. And I started painting, and I painted like all my bio here. We all paint what we know. We know we like to dance and sing, talk our language. We like to enjoy each other's company. I paint what I know too. When the missionaries came to our reservation, they started teaching us about Jesus and God. But my brothers can attest, we already knew who these people were. Because we already prayed to him. In our own way, with our Sundance. Prayed, and we painted. We used paints, like see these paintings right here? Used paints and everything in our ceremonies. You couldn't just be a painter, you had to be asked or appointed by one of our ceremonial leaders. As we started in school, they said we couldn't paint these objects. Now times have changed, and we can come here to a place like the University of Oklahoma where they can encourage us to paint what we know. And so I share painting Saint Pete Can't Peyote Man, Kiowa, wearing his blue prayer blanket with his eagle fan. Eagles, very holy feather to our people, because the eagle flies the highest amongst all birds and has good spirit. He's wearing a poly feather on top. Poly feathers in our people, they doctor children with them. He's a prayerful man. Kiowas, we know how to pray. We have our own songs, just like my Bobby said earlier. We pray, we sing. It's all a part of our life. Every day we pray and we sing, and it makes us feel good to dance and know that we can feel that spirit. This is a church man that I painted, and I'm sharing that with y'all today. In Kiowa, you can identify him by his certain traits that he wears. His bandolier, mescal beads, his leggings, the tabs are in the front of his leggings, his moccasins, Kiowa moccasins. But that's what I know. We all paint what we know. And so This is a painting of religion. When the missionaries came here, they told us that our religion was to be no more, that we had to accept the Catholic religion or accept the Baptist religion or the Methodist religion. But we continue on the best way we can in our Native American church. It's new to us, but you know, we've always prayed. And we continue to pray for each other, like my brother Monroe here. Take him into the Native American church and offer some prayers that God might heal his illness. And so that's what we all have stated here tonight. We pray because that's what we brought up. That's what we know. So we try to continue that here at the University of Oklahoma. And we're glad to have a place where we can still go on and carry on our ways.
Do you have any other aspirations outside of painting, or interested in any other things through your education?
I'd like to continue on as far as I can with my education in art. And, one thing I want to accomplish in my life is like to see one of our chiefs come back home to be with his people. It's my mission is to go and bring him home from Huntsville, and then in the prison down there. That's where he's buried. That's not where Kiowa should be. He should be home with his people. One of these days, I'm going to accomplish that.
Thank you.
In honor of the transition, we are going to have a dance now. So if you would all join us on the back.
I'm going to sing, the first song is an Oklahoma song, War Dance. It's our society we're all a part of. We're going to sing, and this is our drum here. Kiowas, we think of that drum kind of as our grandfather. We're going to carry on our songs that we had from them. We're going to have a round dance afterwards, a friendship dance, and we're going to invite everybody to come out and dance with us. So the first song, they're going to, our Bobby here, they're going to show you how good it is to hear this drum and hear these songs and expression. These expressions, they heal people. Watch how they dance. They're dancing for you. They're dancing for our people that can't dance. So enjoy. Welcome.
when they walked in the doors, and it just like, I know you lived this too. I've lived this in my mind.
Carol Whitney was the director.
I know, right?
Carol Whitney, the director, way before me and Russ.
Wonderful. Tell them where you came from. Well, I'm an artist myself, and I learned about the house that it was destined to be a parking lot in 1986. So I rounded up the troops, and we got it on the National Register, and we incorporated, and here it is.
Thank you for coming tonight. We hope you've enjoyed yourselves. And please thank the Kiowa 5.
Well, I know the Jacobsons thank you, and the Kiowa 5 thank you, and the performance is over, and so I'll introduce myself to you as Russ Tallchief, and I say that I'm the playwright only sort of to a certain extent, because really these guys are all part of the creation of this. Really brought these characters to life. They researched them and they truly embodied them. And I thank you guys so much for coming. I just wanted to introduce the cast to everybody in case you don't know them. Dr. Andrew Phelan is playing Oscar Jacobson. And Dr. Phelan is the former director of the School of Art, which Oscar Jacobson founded in 1915. So it's really great to have a director of the School of Art play a director of the School of Art. So thank you so much. The lovely Jean Dessel. Sophie Bruce is a graduate student in the OU School of Dance. She's a modern dancer, teaches modern dance, hailing from the Netherlands. So the accent came pretty easily for her, although she's fluent in French also, so it worked out perfectly, and she was just a fantastic Jean Dessel. The Tokes, Robert Lincoln and Shima Lincoln played Monroe and Martha Satoke, and they are newlyweds, as the Satokes were when they came. So that makes it even more special. And Shima is expecting as well. So we actually have 3 Lincolns here. And thank you so much. This is my brother Marty Thurman, who played Spencer Asa. And he really is Spencer Asa in so many ways, because he, in fact, did go into a powwow and forgot his bustle. He's been dancing since he's about that tall. And I don't think that he danced backwards like Spencer did, but I don't think that it worked out any better for him forgetting his bustle. But thank you so much, Marty, for helping us out with this. He's an amazing dancer. As all these dancers are, because Kevin Coneyworthy, who played Jack Kiowa, is a champion dancer as well and travels the world dancing various styles of dance. I think he's a spitting image of Jack Kiowa, isn't he? I mean,
yes,
he's like
I agree.
Amazing. We recreated the picture over here in front of the garage that's in 1930 that's hanging up on the wall, and it's incredible. Give us a call. Yeah, give us a call if you'd like a picture of that, because I think all these guys are really just a spitting image.
Kiowas, they don't say Hokia, they say Hokie.
Hokie. Thank you. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Warren, because one of the things that we wanted to do is to correct all of us, including myself, who pronounce all their names wrong, including Stephen Mopo, Jack Hokia, Spencer Asa. We say them all wrong. It's Hoki, Asa, Mapopi, and then Satoki. Right.
Zane Toki.
Zane. I knew I'd mess it up. And we'll continue to do so, I'm sure. But that is one of the things that we wanted to clarify through this performance. And so thank you so much, Kevin. And his wife, Cricket, has been so active in the Jacobson House for many years. And I just can't say enough about what these two have done for the Jacobson House over the years. So thank you so much, Kevin. Oliver Plumley, who's playing Stephen Mapopi. How's that? Is that close enough? Stephen was, of course, an amazing dancer and flute player, and Oliver is as well, as he demonstrated tonight. He's studying music at the OU School of Music just right over there, and so it was really very apropos to have Oliver play Stephen Mopope and perform a beautiful flute song, and thank you so much, Oliver, for helping us do that. Maya Turalba, who's playing Lois Smokey, is in fact a descendant of Spencer Asa and Stephen Mopope. And Maya lives in Anadarko. Her husband Brian is here as well, and he's also a writer, a very talented native journalist. And I think she's just a spitting image of Lois Smokey. And I really just thank you so much, and I thank you for even the tears that we've shed during this whole process from her moving testimonial as Lois Smokey, and I think she deserves an Oscar. Yeah. We are creating the Jacobson Award, so we will give her a Jacobson. Warren Queeton is also a pleasure to have. He is a descendant of James Ochai, who he is playing, and so that made it even more relevant for us, and he brought so much to that character, being a descendant and knowing his family history and knowing his personal history, as you have read in his bio. It's a great honor to have him here and to participate in this, and thank you so much, Warren. And thank you for correcting me.
I want to say one thing. I want to say one thing about Warren. He is just got back recently from Iraq, and he's a war veteran, and I just wanted to appreciate everything you've done, and I'm glad you came back, and I appreciate it.
That's really important to point that out, and Robert also served in the military, and also Dr. Phelan was in Vietnam as well as a medic and earned a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart as well in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Well, I think the cast so much, and I wanted to just point out some people that are here tonight, and I know a lot of you know the people that are here tonight, but for those of you who don't, and for those of you who do, I just wanted to acknowledge Carol Whitney, who, without Carol, the Jacobson House wouldn't even be here today, as well as Shawnee Britton and Joanna Champlin, who were in the beginning days the founders of the Jacobson Foundation, and we're so honored to have all of you great guests here. Phoebe, come down here, please. Our lovely May, the comic relief, and I know that Phoebe added a great sense of comedy to this, and once again, as with all of these characters, Phoebe was as real as any one of the Kiowa Five. The Jacobsons had a maid who went to school at OU, and when she first met the Kiowa Five, she was so terrified, she screamed and ran to the kitchen, and it took Mrs. Jacobson forever to even get her out of the kitchen, but ultimately she did warm up to the Kiowa Five. And me. Savoy Lawtonville. Savoy Lawtonville, my character, was also as real as any of these characters. Savoy was the student editor of the OU Daily newspaper at the time and wrote about Jacobson and the Kiowa Five, and then went on to become the director of OU Press. The building that initially housed OU Press on campus is named after Savoy Lawtonville, and now of course OU Press is somewhere else. But I just wanted you to know that so many of the words that you heard tonight were actually spoken by not only the writer but also these artists. These testimonials were based on interviews. They were based on articles written by writers like Savoy, and these were actual words and very often the quotes from everyone, including Martha Satoke, when she said, "As long as he has breath, there is hope." That came directly from Martha Satoke. I want to acknowledge a very talented Choctaw artist, Derek Smalling, who's on our board, Yancey Redcorn, who's also on our board, and all of our board members who've been here with us tonight and throughout the past couple of days. We had a great performance last night with the Kiowa tribe, and I thank you all for making our final performance of this run so special. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys met Jen, the new director of the Jacobson House.
Yay!
I want to thank Russ. He wrote from documents this play, but he helped me with this a lot. We were about to have the International Dance Contest, and we didn't have enough time to promote it, we didn't think, and then we did this. And I'm just so proud of him. He spent up nights and nights and nights writing this and helping and doing everything. It's his play. I was in charge of getting butts and seats. And that's what I did. Thank you, Russ.
Yay.
Well, thank you. And if anybody else would like to say anything, please.
I just want to thank Russ for helping with the Jacobson House so much over the years.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Russ.